We're talking all things props. We just got done with the Bengals, and now, boys, we're going to talk about the Rams. And, Larry, I'm going to start with you because when you talk about props with the Rams, it begins and ends always with Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, and I know Pete Prisco went back to some ancient history with Cooper Kupp and Mike Hilton, and I'm going to stay in the current year, which is 2022. And this season, the Bengals gave up more catches to slot receivers than any other team. Cooper Kupp coming off 2 games where he erupted for over 300 receiving yards. He also is the primary guy in the middle of the field where the Bengals give up a ton of targets. So I love Cooper Kupp over receiving yards, and I may even like this one better. Longest catch over 28.5. Matthew Stafford attempts more deep passes over the middle than any other quarterback. The Bengals give up the most targets in the deep middle of any team in the league. We remember that game against Tampa Bay where he got deep for that 44-yarder. I think you're going to see something similar. Cooper Kupp going deep, getting at least 28.5 yards. And I should also add, in the last 2 games, the Bengals have given up 5 catches of at least 30 yards.
And if it doesn't cash in the first half, it's okay. This is the type of offense that as the game gets later and later and later, he goes deeper and deeper and deeper. Now, one of the feel-good stories of the entire NFL this year was Cam Akers. And he has been a big reason why the Los Angeles Rams were even in this game. It was just 7-8 short months ago, he tore his ACL. But now he's playing a vital role. What do you got with him?
Yeah, incredible comeback for Cam Akers. The numbers, though, haven't been there, and I think people are down on him. But let's look at who he faced. He faced the 49ers and the Buccaneers, 2 elite rush defenses. Then you come against the Bengals. They were middle of the pack for most of the season. Then they lost Larry Ogunjobi. They've collapsed in the playoffs in terms of rush defense, allowing almost 6 yards a carry. So I want to attack Cam Akers in 2 ways. First rush, over 3.5 yards. In the first quarter, even though his overall numbers have been bad, in the first quarter he's come out and averaged 4.3 yards a carry. 7 of the last 8 running backs to face the Bengals, their first carry has gone over 3.5, and in fact, they're averaging 8 yards on that first carry. So I like him to get off to a fast start. I think the rest should help a guy coming off that major injury. And then longest rush over 13.5. He's very explosive. We all know that, and this Bengals rush defense is just very susceptible. So I'm going to play Cam Akers in both those props.
And I believe that prop will also not cash until a little bit later when the Bengals defense gets a little bit more tired, but they will wear them down over the course of the game. I still don't think they're going to win, but yeah. All right, so quickly, let's recap. The Maestros pick Cooper Kupp over 105 receiving yards and a half. Kupp longest reception over 28.5. Then Akers first rush over 3.5 yards. And then Akers longest rush over 13.5 yards. All right, let's switch gears now to Kenny White. Now, we're going to continue to talk about rushing games because this one almost seems too good to be true, which is why the juice is pretty high. Where are you starting?
Yeah, you're right, Coach. When I broke down the numbers on this, I have the Rams winning the rushing battle in this game 71% of the time. If they played 100 games, the Rams 71% would win the rushing battle. That comes out to minus 233. And in the odds right now, you only have to lay $1.65. Seems like a high number, but there's a lot of wiggle room there. Rams, obviously, 2-headed backfield now, I think. Cam Akers is going to get the bulk of the carries, but Sony Michel has the experience, Super Bowl experience. They're going to rely on him. I could see the Rams with way more rushing attempts and way more rushing yards.
I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be close. So I have a kind of a strange question to ask you, Kenny. When was the last time you were at the club? When was the last time you went out and just cut loose at the nightclub?
It had to be last night.
Well, on our little show called The Early Edge, we have something called the VJM, the Van Jefferson Memorial first touchdown of the game pick. I won't get into all the details here, but the fact that you have him in a prop, it warms our hearts. What do you got with Van Jefferson?
That's great. And I love Van Jefferson. However, Odell Beckham has really come into his own. And Matthew Stafford has been building more and more timing with Odell Beckham. He's going to find Kupp. He's going to find Beckham. The last couple of weeks, it has been all Odell. Now, Van Jefferson's passing yards, 31.5 receiving yards. He has gone under this number in 5 of the last 7 games because of the emergence of OBJ. And that's a problem for Jefferson. In one of the games that went over, he was only targeted once that game. It was a 41-yard reception. I hope he only gets targeted once this game. That'll make it easy for me.
There are 2 players that seem to have a nose for the end zone. And as the playoffs have gone along more, Matthew Stafford's been looking at two guys, Cooper Kupp and OBJ. But your next prop, I don't know about it because of how they find the end zone. Tell me that I'm wrong.
Well, I love the game under. And you know what? The one number that really scares me in this game is the Cincinnati Bengals median score in their road games this year.
Okay.
They've outscored their opponents 24-18. Median, 42 points. That's it. They've only allowed 18 points per game on the road this year. Here they are in a road game. They're very conservative. They slow it down. They play slow. They shorten the game. And, they don't give up a lot of big plays. So Matthew Stafford, I'm going to go under 1.5 touchdown passes plus $1.80. I love the big price. Plus 180 on this. I hope Matthew Stafford just throws one touchdown in this game.
Maybe hand it off to Cooper Kupp for those people who want a Kupp anytime touchdown,
yes,
which has been cashing almost every single game. Now, we don't normally very often play defensive props. They're hard to handicap. But we've seen between Aaron Donald and Von Miller, they have been a dynamic 1-2 punch since Von Miller came over from the Denver Broncos. You think Von Miller will have a big role in this game?
I do. You're right. Playing defensive props is scary sometimes, and laying big prices is not really profitable in the long run. But if you have value, and in this prop, I think I have a lot of value, and Larry's on it with me. The pressures that Miller has shown. Now, he came to the Rams from Denver. I don't think he was in shape. Did not have a sack his first 4 games. He's now in a sack in 5 of 6 games. He has Super Bowl experience. He has MVP Super Bowl experience, and he's going up against some of the weakest offensive tackles in the game. He is going to be pressuring Joe Burrow all day long. He will get to him. He will get a sack here.
I don't think we can underestimate the nerves, not just on the defensive side of the football, but certainly on the offensive side of the football. That could lead to cashing this ticket, perhaps in the first half. Who knows? Who knows? Now, another rushing prop that probably the average person, the average bettor, is not going to target. You did. What is that?
Yeah, and I used this for my best prop, and I had to use it again here because if you weren't watching earlier in the show, you need to know. Matthew Stafford has been leaving the pocket. This is it. 12 years in the NFL, finally gets to the Rams. He gets to the Super Bowl. He's done everything in his power to win the playoff games, and that is running when he has to. And I think he will take off from the pocket a couple times. I think he'll have a couple of kneel downs as well. Those count as rushing attempts. Matthew Stafford over 2.5 rushing attempts, and it's only minus 105. Low juice as well.
Yeah, don't do any dancing around with 2 minutes to go thinking you have won if you bet against this ticket. As Kenny said, kneel downs do count, and sometimes you got to kneel down 2 or 3 times.
Yes, you do.
Whoa. All right, so quickly recapping Kenny's Rams props, the Rams' most rush yards in the game. Van Jefferson under his receiving total. Matthew Stafford under 1.5 passing touchdowns. Von Miller will record a sack that's minus 170, and then Stafford will rush over 2.5 times.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.